Welcome to Nutty Buddy Entertainment.
We start off the episode back with Tarat, the hippo, and then we learn that there's actually multiple afterlives or realms. She kind of gives that to Bill, and then shout out to the ancestral plane, Black Panther.
Yeah.
Marvel is just with this, and then even Doctor Strange coming up, they're just opening up this new world, which is very interesting. I don't know, with everything that's going on with the dimensions and stuff like that, and different like realities, and then adding this into there as well. It's just very interesting. And then like Thor, because I'm feeling like this is very separate than like the 9 realms that like Thor and like Asgard are like a part of. I feel like this is something completely different right now, just the way that this whole thing played out. So
yeah, so it really comes down to like one of the big questions I have here is what was going on in this episode? Was it like actually happening, or was it like in Mark's mind?
I feel like it was actually happening. Especially when she had mentioned like, oh, we haven't had someone through the gates for a while. All the humans decide not to follow the Egyptian gods anymore, so that would make sense why. But with Mark, being an avatar of Khonshu, he would have access to that. So I think it was real, especially where the actual real episode left off with him getting shot and falling into the water. Like, I think he is dead. She did say like, if we send you back, you'll still be in a body with bullets in you. So I think they had that chance in him not being able to open up the gates for Osiris. I feel like he missed out on that, and he's just in the field of reeds right now. And I don't know if he's going to be able to make it back.
Yeah, so I guess I just saw it a little differently. I personally think it's just in his head, and that he's on the brink of death. And right now, Layla is trying to get him to Khonshu. That's what I think is happening in the outside world. And he is on the brink of death, much like the Black Panther. Like, he visited the ancestral planes, but he wasn't dead yet, right? And then he went through that process in his head, came back, right? That's what I feel like happening here. And part of the reason is because the scale's balanced, but there's still a third personality.
Is there though? Because that coffin, was it his brother that was in there, and he was just keeping that trapped? That shaken coffin that we saw before that they didn't open. Maybe that was my thinking, because they didn't really open the doors. Because even in the episode where they went up to the door and they saw a guy like standing on the sidewalk looking into apartment building, I almost thought that was going to be Jake Locklear, and then we would get like a glimpse into like them not knowing. But it ended up being Mark, outside his Dad's mom's house. But they haven't opened up the door fully for a third, because also with the scales balancing out in the end from Steven dying, then that third personality really didn't have anything to do with it,
Right, unless if it's just in his head and he doesn't, they're unaware of the third personality.
That's
right?
True. Yeah.
Right. So then in his mind, he's balanced it out, because we still don't have an answer of who asked that girl out. And we still don't have an answer who killed those people on Arthur's people with the knife, when both Mark and Steven were blacked out and neither one of them owned up to it in episode 3 on the roof there. So and the only reason why I think there is still a third personality partly is because that's Steven came out of sarcophagus, right? He was released from one. So it would make sense that if there is a third personality that goes along with the comic books, that he would be stuck in a sarcophagus as well.
I don't know where he would fit in on what Mark would need him for exactly, because it seemed like Steven was kind of that other portion and Mark kind of takes care of everything else with it. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. Yeah, for me, it felt more like he was trying to get back to the real world, but he kind of failed on that. And it was interesting during the episode, when they were going through that underworld, all those souls were coming down. So stuff was taking place in the world that he wasn't aware of going. So obviously Ahmet was released and things are going on. So yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see next week what's going on, but
Yeah, it's fascinating to me because I feel like there's so many. That's why partly is I'm a little bit concerned about like the next episode because I feel like there's still well, I'll talk about it in a little bit, but
yeah.
So that's part of the reason those couple of things are part of the reason why I think it's going on inside of his head and he's trying to figure it out. Now, obviously, I could be wrong, obviously,
Yeah.
and you brought up, I think, a good point with the Ahmed part with the purple flashes, but you also wonder how much like if let's say Layla is trying to keep him alive or whatever's going on, like how much are they like, hey, you got to stay alive because Ahmed is released or whatever. And
But
so
yeah, I don't know how she would be able to keep him alive because Arthur and his whole crew are still there. I don't think she's gonna be able to drag him out without having to confront them as well. So
yeah,
don't know.
that's true, unless if Arthur, he doesn't like he doesn't, like you
Just
mentioned,
grabs the statue and go.
yeah, he doesn't
Yeah.
seem like he would really care, like, because you mentioned, which I thought was a good point last week, is basically that was the first time we ever seen him actually do physical harm to someone when he shot.
Yeah.
So I don't think he
Nope.
really cares about what Layla, because he feels like Mark's good as dead anyway. So yeah. Anything else in this episode?
The biggest question, I don't know. Next week's episode, I think, is going to be really fun, seeing how everything ends out. And yeah, if we'll be able to actually see like a physical like Ahmet, and if the other like Cyrus or anybody does step in at that point, or yeah, maybe they're the ones who release Khonshu because they're like, oh yeah, you were right.
Yeah, no, I think, like, if I had any theories like moving forward, I still think Layla, regardless, she will end up wearing the suit somehow. So I think she will free Khonshu and then bring Khonshu over to Mark. I think that's what's going to happen.
I have this feeling because a lot of where Marvel is going right now, it's a lot of female focus, and I feel like they're setting something up for like a female version of the Avengers. So that's why I'm thinking like Layla's going to be like Moon Knight moving forward for some reason, especially with like the new Thor that's coming out and stuff. It's just, I feel like they're having some sort of shift right now with that.
Yeah, I guess I could see that. I see that too, but I feel like they have enough females. Like, I'm not saying you can't have more. I'm not, but if they want to, because we still have She-Hulk coming. Yeah. And what's her name? The Iron Heart. No, Iron Riri Williams. The Iron, she's going to be in Secret Wars, I think, is basically a female Iron Man.
Yes, yeah. I know who you're talking about. I don't know her character name though right now.
I think it's Ironheart, but so you're going to have that as well. But I guess we'll see. Maybe you're right, but I would imagine I'm just thinking like it would be so strange to me if they get you connected to this character and they just kill him off right away. That's the other part, is just like,
I mean, it's pretty ballsy, but I'm kind of for it. I enjoyed this story, so if they don't ruin it with anything else and they can kind of arc it into something else, I might be for it.
Okay. Well, so another thing I heard, just a rumor, that there's actually going to be one more villain reveal in the episode. Oh, really? The last episode I was watching I'm video.
Still hoping Dr. Doom, we get him.
So my one hope, Dr. Doom would be amazing, but I'm really hoping it's Apocalypse.
And really? Okay.
Start the Age of the Mutants through him, because he's a mutant. Technically, he was the father of the mutants. Yeah. He's Egyptian. So
Oh,
it
yeah.
works out with that, and he's got the four horsemen as well. So I don't know. I just think it would be really cool to have. And by the way, Oscar Isaac is I believe is the person who played
He is.
the bad Apocalypse. So it would be
Yes,
kind of
yeah, he definitely
hilarious if
is,
he
yeah.
does show up in that
Yeah.
in the Moon Knight at the end.
Yeah, I wish, yeah, I'm hoping, yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about, do you think Steven is like dead?
See, this is why I don't think this is why I think it's in his mind. I think like even Steven isn't dead. I don't think he's dead even. Like I don't think he's dead. I don't think Mark's dead. I think what it was is like a symbolization of him finding balance between him and Steven. And but you know, his mind is playing tricks on him as well as this is all happening. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong, obviously.
Yeah.
But a whole new world, like Aladdin would say, right? Like a whole new world. We'll have to wait and see what the answers are.
Yeah.
Okay. You okay if I tell you what my concerns are for the finale? Maybe we could talk about that for a second. Yeah, and we could talk. Okay, so this reminds me a lot of WandaVision, where the finale, the episode before the finale, it focused on Wanda's trauma throughout her past, and then we didn't get a lot of questions answered because there was a lot of time in the final episode. Which if I could change one thing about the Marvel Disney Plus series, like maybe an hour and 30-minute finale episode would be awesome, or an extra episode. They always just, I feel like they need more time.
I agree. I don't know why for the finale they don't bump it up to an hour and a half. You know, they're fine doing it for the movies where it's like pushing 3 hours, but it'd be so much more if they could just add on an extra half an hour for the TV series.
Right. So here's what so my concern is, there enough time? So this is what we have to figure out. How does Moon Knight or Khonshu gets released, right? What is going on right now in whether Mark's dead or alive, right? We got to figure that out. We have to figure out how Amit gets released, right? And if there is a physical form of her, right? And what she's doing now. We got to figure that out. We got to see how they defeat Ahmed. I was kind of hoping and we would get a glimpse of Arthur's past with Khonshu.
Oh, yeah. I don't think we are. Which I'm okay with, you know. I don't think we necessarily need to see him like in the suit or anything like that, but it would have been cool.
Yeah, I'm really hoping we get that though. But this is where I'm like, I like just like a 5-minute scene of them of why they parted and when. Like, how old is Arthur? There's still a lot of questions about Arthur. Like, why does he walk on glass? Like, we still don't know that yet.
Yeah, I guess because the suit heals you. So does that keep you young as well? Do you age when you have it on?
That's a good question. I would assume not.
Yeah, I just thought of that. I hadn't really thought about that through these episodes, but yeah, does it not age you if you wear it? Huh.
So would you age when you're not wearing it?
That's the thing. And honestly, I wonder if when Arthur had it, if he ever took it off. I feel like he would be the guy who kept it on like all the time.
That could be it. That could be it.
Also, I wonder how many avatars Khonshu has had through the years, you know?
Yeah, I wish we would have a little bit more, which is another question, like a little bit more of Khonshu's past and what like him and the other avatars, these beings from a different realm.
But who knows? Maybe we'll get that when Layla takes over and she's the new Moon Knight. She starts asking these questions. So.
Well, that would be another thing we would have to experience. And then so if there is, which I still think there is, but we also need to figure out this whole third personality thing. So that's everything that like I don't like when just real quick, like just going back to the glass thing, because I feel like he wore he walked on glass for a reason, this cracked glass. If they introduce it, and it's sort of like with the bunny, Senior Scratchy in WandaVision, right? Like, don't introduce it if you're not going to answer the question, right? So that's kind of like a big, like, that's like was one of the most like in the first episode, it just takes you back, like, what is that dude doing walking on glass? So I hope they answer that question. I just don't know why else you would introduce it.
Yeah, I guess I know you had thought that maybe it was, to keep him in this reality or something, and I more thought it was just more of a culty-ish, just like penance thing that he did to just, I don't know, kind of prove a point to like his followers or something, because it has a very just like cult leader vibe for me with the whole glass thing. So yeah, I don't know. I've never really thought that Arthur was like unbalanced in the sense of like his mind is kind of like, broken, or like Mark's at all. I've never really got that vibe really from him.
Yeah, me neither. So I just wonder, I mean, these are questions that I feel like I would like answered in, I just don't know if 50 minutes, whatever it is that they're going to do, is there going to be enough time. Thanks so much for listening to me and Brian break down episode 5 of Moon Knight. These are just some clips of our podcast. So if you'd like to listen to the rest of the podcast, go ahead and click on the link below or search Nutty Buddy Entertainment wherever you get podcasts. We also talk about Marvel fatigue. Is it real? If so, why? Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below your thoughts on episode 5. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we will talk to you guys soon.